Endless Evolution is a community engaged in the exploration of human experience. We engage with one another to understand our unique paths. We talk, we laugh, we heal, and we invite others to share this journey with us. Won't you join us? Endless Evolution.
So many humans, and where's the humanity?
Hey, Spencer. Hey,
Hey,
Aaron.
I'm laughing
Hey,
already.
It's been a minute since we've recorded a
Man.
podcast.
Oh man, it's been a minute. What was that last topic?
I can't even
It's
remember,
been
but
a
I
minute.
know
A lot has happened.
I think it was in the beginning of March, and
A lot has happened. Yeah,
it's been like a month and a half.
yeah, yeah,
the,
yeah,
the thing that's really refreshing is that people noticed and people said,
yeah,
"Hey, we haven't
yeah.
seen a podcast, or we haven't heard a
I know,
podcast.
I
When are you
know,
recording
I
again?"
know, I know, I
It
know.
was
That's
encouraging.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is encouraging. Um, and I remember some of the comments the first when we did the first one that some of the people said, um, and it's just you can never take for granted, I guess,
Yeah, absolutely.
how your voice affects someone else. And so I'm glad to hear that. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that people are asking for it and missing it. And so yeah.
Yeah,
And we are
so
too, probably. We're missing it
Yes.
too,
Oh,
probably. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
definitely.
like we said before,
Oh
it's our
man.
therapy. We
Yeah.
missed it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We've been on hiatus for real reasons, and we want to give space and voice to that, right?
Yeah.
Like lots of things happening in our personal and professional lives that had us really stretched for time and availability, but not for desire. There's definitely a lot of desire
Yeah.
to get back into this space. So I'm
Yeah.
happy to be back with
Yeah.
both of
Same,
you
Yeah.
talking about
same.
endless evolution.
Yes.
Endless evolution. And thank you all for holding space. I think the last time we were here, Nate, I think we were, talking to you about holding space, about what you're experiencing. I think
Yeah.
you had a transition in the family too,
We had a couple, we
and
had
Naz,
Najee in the
yeah, yeah,
hospital,
Nazi was in the hospital.
real intense family
Yeah,
discussions.
yeah, 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 yeah. Erica's stepfather passed away. Then 2 weeks later, her uncle passed away, and so man, just talking about humanity, um, to pause and really give space for that. So you know what I
Yes. Yeah,
mean? And
absolutely.
yeah, that's yeah, life, right? Life is happening. Life is life, and as they say. So it's good to be back. And good to model that we hold that space. And for you too, Aaron, as you have those travel woes, man. You had some travel woes that were
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be broke. And so it had, before COVID I was on the circuit of going to different conferences and things like that, and
Yeah,
that was a thing that sort of kind of helped steer some business this way, if you would, or at least keep the conversation going. And
yeah.
and so I'm completely on my own now and doing my,
Mm,
running my own business now, and so I just kind of fell off from doing that. So I needed to hop
yeah.
back in the saddle and get a little traveling going. And there was one trip in there that was strictly for pleasure. And so,
Mhm.
it just all kind of threw me in a bunch of different directions.
Yeah,
But glad to
yeah,
be back here. Glad to be
yeah,
Yeah.
back.
yeah,
We
yeah,
we
yeah.
snuck in a trip for pleasure, went to Costa Rica. I know I sent some pictures to you guys.
Yes.
Highly
Oh,
recommend it.
I'm so
oh,
jealous. Oh,
Yeah.
that place was beautiful.
oh. I didn't send you all the pic. Did I send you pics too? I did not send
I
you
did
pics from
not.
No,
Colombia.
Oh, right.
no.
You guys went
Colombia,
to Colombia.
we went to
Yeah.
Colombia, man.
We've been a
That was
traveling trio.
right
I went
on
to I went to
time.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison,
Woo!
Wisconsin. Is that like another world? That's like another world too.
It is.
Oh, come on. You were in Lake
That's a,
Tahoe though
I
too,
did go I
Aaron.
did
yeah,
go to Lake
okay. All
Tahoe.
right. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Oh yeah, yeah. I as you all know, all the changes, I ended up, well, this one organization that I traveled with recently, they were, kind of, and they're still in the space of losing funding and stuff like that, but called up and like, hey, called me up and say, hey, we're going on retreat to New Mexico with this given by this group called Collective Acceleration. that really is kind of aligned with what we do. Like
Mhm.
talking about healing humanity and talking about healing and how to navigate these times and navigate what they call the slipstream and stuff like that. Collective acceleration and normal one. It was really great, y'all. And it was renewing for me. It's really renewing for me to come back and as you know, we were always talking about putting our focus on creation, and it helped me pivot. In fact, one of the sections and workshops was strictly about learning how to pivot, how to go around or how to burrow under, don't let anything stop you. You pivot and do whatever you have to do to create. And so it was really great for me. So it's got my spirits feeling well, feeling good, feeling good.
Spencer, when you were just talking, you made me think about this particular thing that people that make it their life's work
Mhm.
to help other people, we frequently don't take those times for ourselves to either just be on a like a vacation
Yes.
or
Hmm.
to even go somewhere and
Yeah.
be poured into, if that makes any sense. Like to be the receiver, to
Yes.
learn or to heal or to grow ourselves. And so
Man.
I'm happy to hear that you did that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
refreshing to hear.
Yeah. Just to be there, y'all. Just to be there. The content was good too, but really just to be there and be on those lands in New Mexico.
Mhm.
Um, and like in the morning to get up and have a sacred ceremony on the land,
Yes. Yes.
where people are putting sacred artifacts out and sacred things out to represent their ancestors and people whose land it is, and to be there in a circle. You're talking about 200 people, almost 200 people were out in the circle and then doing Tai Chi and all this. And so it was really reconnecting, is what it was. It was
Well,
reconnecting. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. It was,
Um,
it was great.
I think I got a little bit of that in Costa Rica. I also got the stomach flu, but that was
Oh,
minimal.
yeah.
I think being surrounded by just such raw nature and beauty, because
Yeah.
it's everything, right? Tropical rainforest, you really, and we stayed up in the mountains, was like a world of our own. So I woke
Yeah.
up and went to sleep to the
Yeah.
sounds of jungle animals and birds and
Mm,
nice.
toucans, and
Yes.
that was great to just be back in touch with nature. It always
yeah.
helps me. I've said that before here, but I really think that it really instigated or renewed some creative juices. One
Mhm.
of my consulting clients right now is Peace Players International, and I'm helping to coordinate what they call their friendship games, which brings together
That's right.
participants from across the world, and they're being
Yeah.
hosted in Detroit this year. And it just reminds me of the power of bringing people together and what you create because of that, um, that gathering. So I'm really excited to be pouring my energy, my professional energy right now into creation,
Yeah.
because it does help me sustain and think about, how two people joined is
Mm,
powerful, more powerful than one, and four is
Yes.
more powerful than two. And, kind of like
yeah.
that old 1970s, remember? Commercial. Remember that commercial with the hair? Okay.
Well, I
Really
remember,
random.
I remember your age.
I told my friend, and then she told her friend, and so on, and so on. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Um,
I think it was
I
I don't
do.
think
Vidal
I saw that.
Sassoon. I think
I
it was
do.
Vidal
I
Sassoon.
do remember.
And the screen was just replicate. Okay, I told you I was in a goofy mood today.
No,
Uh,
no, I do remember that. I do remember that.
but it really does bring to like that visual to mind of like how the ripple effects, right? Or
Yeah,
like when you throw a rock
yeah,
and those ripple waves
yeah,
go
Mhm.
out.
yeah,
It's really powerful. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, it's really what we're attempting to do here, right? With that ripple thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm just
Yeah.
thinking like one of this, it's so simple. So this lady at New Mexico, Norma Wong, was talking about these practices too. Like, and I really try to do it. Wake up and not look at your phone. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Don't look at
Hmm.
your phone. She was like, I still got a flip phone. You know what I mean? And I know those are coming back, aren't they? I mean, some
Yeah,
people
they
are
are.
having
I've
flip
seen some
phones that
people with it.
are coming back, but they were just she was just joking about it and stuff like that. But um, wanted to ask you all, what do you find that you have to, in order to create and be in that energy? what do you have to let go of, or what do you have to release? And what do you have to stop doing in order to be in that space?
Creative.
Yeah,
Social media is the
yeah,
first thing that comes to
Oh, for
mind.
yeah,
sure. For
I've let
sure.
go of it so much, and it's been a help to me.
yeah,
That's that for sure.
yeah.
I haven't been that disciplined, Naomi. I need to let go of it. And it, there's a couple of schools of thought behind that, but they've done some recent research on it that shows that it negatively impacts your mood, and it negatively impacts your mental health. And so on the flip side of that, as I'm trying to do different things with my business, like I don't have any other way to promote it.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a
so
necessary evil, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so like I'm trying to let it go, and then, at the same time, trying to use it at least for positive things. Um, but that's a great, Spencer, that's a great question. I don't know if I've shared this with you all. And Naomi, you might know it to some degree, but like I identify as a poet. Like that's a cliche, but I
Mhm.
identify as a poet.
Yeah.
And it, recently, I've one of the things that has helped me to let go and to get back more into writing poetry has been rest, but not even rest in the classical sense of like sleep or laying down, but just being, if you will. Like sometimes I'll just stare and sit, sit and look out the window. And Tiff is like, that's how you start your morning, with a cup of
Yeah.
coffee, just looking out the window.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just being.
Yes, just being that's, and I know it's a privilege to be able to do that, and I don't
Mm.
take that lightly, but I need that to help me get back to my creative self, or to
Yeah.
help that creative self like find a space to kind of come back out, because all of the hustle and bustle, and I got to do this and I got to do that. I think that tamps it back down. And so I don't even know if this is answering your question,
Yeah.
Spencer, but
Yeah.
like just taking a moment to just be in the moment,
Yeah.
that for me has been really helpful.
So you're letting
Yeah.
go of distractions, at least for that
Yes,
Yeah.
time, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that includes the social media, because I'll put my
Yeah.
phone down and I literally will just, you all know I read a lot, but sometimes I don't even take a book up to this my space that I have. I'm just sitting there looking out of the window, and I'm just enjoying the moment. And so yeah, and that helps me to let my mind. Sometimes I might meditate, but sometimes I just sit there and it lets my mind wander to a certain degree. And I think that's where those creative thoughts come from, just not
Mhm.
really having a a responsibility to do something at that moment and at that
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I host a lot of cooking, like people over to eat. And I've reflected on why I love to do it so much. I mean, outside of just like I love to cook, it is such a great distraction for me because it allows me to pour into people
Mhm.
and not have the phone near me. I love the days where, and this happens on every big hosting event that I have. I don't know where my phone is. People are texting me all day long, and I come to it at the very end of the night, and there's like so many messages and so many texts, and I spent the whole day without looking at it, and it
Mhm.
felt
Mhm.
so real and so
It's
liberating.
liberating.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is it. I think it was probably after Christmas this past year where I'm like, I need to have that feeling more often.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I leave my phone plugged in a different room and I go and do
Mhm.
other things. Intentionally not being able to connect helps me pour into and be more present with everything. So yeah.
Man,
That,
that's a practice. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah,
Say it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Spencer, I'm
No,
jumping in
I know
here,
you
but
had a thought. Yeah.
yeah, it just, I'm a avid listener of music, but my son bought me a record player for
Mm,
Christmas. And so
old
actually
school.
I haven't even plugged it up yet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna to that thought, Naomi, like I'll take my phone into different rooms just because I have it hooked up to my headphones or something. I'm listening to music, but like if I have a record player, I don't need to do that. I can
Right.
just listen to my records. I'm starting to
Yeah.
build back up my record collection. So
Hey, my cousin has a great one. He collects and sells old records, so I'll have to take you to a spot.
I'd love to. I
Yeah,
would
he has
love
a
to.
lot
I
of great
got I
ones.
got some old records that I need to sell or do something for my parents' old records. So we'll talk
Greg,
about that.
yeah,
I
Greg
Yes.
mean,
might be
these I know
interested.
these are
Yeah, yeah.
like old.
It's okay. Old is
Yeah,
good.
like
Yeah.
Old is
Yeah.
vintage,
old.
Spencer. Come on.
Yeah, no, they're like yeah, they were like vintage.
Pre-vintage.
So yeah, so we like yeah, we have to talk offline about that. But I mean I really like that because Nate, when you talk about the phone, I'm doing the same thing and learning to do the same thing. Like Eric and I went out to dinner or breakfast a week ago, and I left my phone at home.
Yeah.
And she was tripping. I was like, I left my phone at home. And she was like, what? Yeah, that's so left it at home. And you know what? When I got back, there was hardly even a call or a text. I didn't miss anything. And it was liberating. And I think that's what the lady was talking about, just having this phone attached to the hip all the time. And I was thinking about your social media, uh, what you were saying about social media, Aaron. Like I'm learning, like I need to post more for know how I always say I'm gonna do more reels, do all that. Um, what I'm learning how to do with some posts, and this is as of recent, maybe within the last 2 or 3 weeks, is I post something. If I post something that I feel that I'm moved to post, just leave it there,
Mm,
leave it there because I think there's a sense of dopamine, a sense
mm,
of
mm.
dopamine that people get when they post something
How many
and
likes?
see
How many
how many
comments?
likes or see, the
Yes.
comments, you know what I mean? I haven't felt the need to even comment on someone's comment or even
Hmm.
like it. Just do what I do and leave it alone. And that's a practice too, because I don't care how evolved we get, that dopamine is strong, man.
Yes.
That the rewards from that and all of that. So that is definitely a practice. And the last thing I'll say is I'm learning not to I'm learning to be more present
Mm,
and not take everything as an emergency.
yeah.
So if I have like a list of things, because I know what I have done is if in the morning I make myself a list of things to do and say, this is what I'm going to accomplish. And if it doesn't get done, if it doesn't get done, I'll feel a certain way about it not getting done, right? Or you're answering emails or whatever. And just being like, it's being present, being
Yes.
present, y'all, being
Yeah.
present. I have a tendency of being, and Erica knows this, kind of um, clumsy at home. I can be clumsy, but one of the reasons I'm clumsy because I'm not present with what I'm doing. So if I'm grabbing something out of the cabinet, I'm already thinking 2 steps ahead that I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna get this next, and then I'll fumble this and drop, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
clumsy. But part of that clumsiness is probably 60% being clumsy and 40% just not being present,
Yeah.
just not being present with what I'm doing. If you're gonna take simple things, if you're gonna take something out of the fridge, take something out of the fridge. But it's almost like y'all, it's almost like and I don't like to use these words. So I'm not even gonna say the terms. It's almost like I have a thought and I let someone else grab my attention. So I'm on the way to get something. I think about something else. I'll stop and go do that. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
it's really slowing down and being present for me. Um, and breathing is really helping me to do that.
Have you watched The Residents on Netflix?
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
The Residents. No, I'm thinking of the Hulu show. It wasn't The Residents. Anyway, which one's The Residents?
You're not thinking about
Doctor Show?
Severance. You're not thinking about Severance, are you?
No,
No.
no.
Oh,
It,
okay.
Mm-mm.
it's
The
with
one with Sterling Brown, the one I was talking about, but I don't
Oh,
know.
that was good.
I can't think of this actress's name, but she plays a character who's a birder,
Okay.
and even though
Oh
she's
no,
a
we did see it.
yes, it's amazing.
It's
It's
like
amazing.
Clue in the White House.
Yes, it's amazing because
Yes,
even though she's a detective, her passion is being a birder.
right.
And
Okay.
so she's trying to solve this murder, but She's like, you're not taking me away from seeing this rare bird that
Right. She holds up the investigation because she has
Yes.
to go find a bird. She heard a bird. Friends, you should really watch it. It's an
I know, I know,
excellent
I know,
show.
I know. I know you all brought that up for a reason.
I brought it up because
Like,
like the of the being present. Like when
yeah,
she was focused on what was before her, even though there was
yeah,
something
yeah,
that was really pressing at the
yeah,
moment,
yeah,
her focus was, I saw this rare bird
That's
yeah,
right.
and I'm gonna make sure I
yeah,
copy it down that I can
yeah,
see it, and then
yeah.
I can go do the other
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and there's always going to be something that's you know, may feel or seem like it's more important than what
hmm,
we're doing, and other people are going to say, "Hey, you're trying to solve a murder. Why are you out there looking at birds?" But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
she's being present in the moment because
yeah.
it's fleeting. I mean,
Yes,
literally, it's fleeting.
yes,
That bird is
Right.
going to be gone at some point in time, and so you have to
yeah.
enjoy that moment while it's there. So you went, Spencer, you sparked that that for me. Like
Thanks. Yeah,
that's
being present, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. My
Um,
brother was over today and he shared that he did a professional transition after our sister died 5 years ago because it was this moment where he's like, life's too short. I
mhm,
have to be happy with what I'm doing. I'm not
mhm,
satisfied with what I'm doing. So he changed things up, right? And he's doing another professional transition right now
mhm.
after those two deaths in our family because he's like, life is unpredictable. There are
mhm.
places I want to travel that I'm just gonna pick up and go and travel. And then I'll re-engage and I might do some consulting and I might, and yes, he's privileged and blessed to be able to do that, but he's like, even if I weren't, I would figure it out because
Yeah,
all of that has just taught me that life is precious. We have to
yeah.
enjoy it. We have to laugh more, right? Like
That's right.
the three of us were talking about how do we laugh more?
I
How
know,
do we
I
share
know.
it? Listen, audience, every time we're planning these sessions, we are laughing. Like
Yes.
it's
I
hard to even get through our planning because we're all laughing so
I
much
know.
about silly stuff sometimes. But
I love
the three
laughing.
of us laugh a lot together, and we've got to
Yes.
share that more with you because
Yes.
Yeah,
laughing is really such a healing
it
energy
is.
and healing vibe. And in these times of evolution and in these times of challenging moments, we have to figure out how to find that joy and laugh more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we're excited because part of the planning we had today was to think about how do we, how do we continue to evolve as a show and how do
yeah,
we re-engage now that our kind of like hiatus is over and our lives are all settling back more into a rhythm. How do we change things up a little bit so that our evolution is real and constant and responsive to our needs first and
yeah,
foremost as friends and as hosts, but also to the needs of our lovely audience. So
yeah, yeah,
we're excited about coming back with a number of shows where,
yeah,
we'll have invited guests like we've always talked about. We'll talk about current events, but we also will laugh. We're going to find some
Yes.
yeah,
humor every single time.
Yeah.
man.
And we want to hear from your voices.
And
So,
hear from you, and hear from you. I was gonna say that, Naomi. Hear from them. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we set
And
up
we
a
had a
speak
chance to
pipe,
do
right?
that, right? We
Yeah.
we did. We had a chance to do that. And although, I think it's even though we don't are not gonna play it, Nate, but what did that do for you to hear from
Yeah.
your
So one of our planning activities, and we may incorporate these still in a future episode, but was to ask people in our lives to kind of speak to how they're creating space for people, creating space for people, particularly of differing opinions and differing ways of life. And we all recorded, like, or asked our friends to record a, 30-second to 2-minute kind of video.
Mhm.
It was so great to get these insights from other people and to hear how they're grappling with everything and making space for others. And so I think we will share that in future episodes
Yeah,
because it's so meaningful, right? But we, in reflection, also said we need to hear from more people. So we set up something called SpeakPipe. Lots of podcasts use it. It's a service where you all can engage with us. So our website is speakpipe.com/endless evolution. So you can go to www.speakpipe.com /endless evolution and you can leave us a message. You can tell us how you're feeling. You can ask us a question. You could share your own insights. We'd love to hear from you. So
Yeah.
you can start doing that now. And every episode from here on out, we're going to integrate your voices and integrate your ideas. But also, we might ask you very specific questions and hope that you'll respond that way too. Because we want to be in community with you and not just talking at you or talking amongst us without feeling like you're a part of it.
Yeah, and the two people that recorded for me were dear to me, and they were, I think, very moved really when they started recording. Um, for someone to even ask, how they're feeling, how they're recording, and you can tell because even if they say, "Hey, I want you to kind of answer these questions and do like this," they really began to just pour out
Yeah.
some things that they were feeling, and it went way beyond 2 minutes. One person sent like a 4 minute thing, then came back,
Right.
sent another 5 minute. Yeah, because she was really thinking and reflecting as she was answering the questions. So it was good to just hear from them and be able to hold space for them.
That was
You
great.
know, that was good. It was good.
For
It was
me,
good.
I I asked two people. One didn't have enough faith in the system to be recorded, which I
Mhm.
totally understand. And then one kind of highlighted a trust issue between me and the other person. So that's
Mhm.
something, but with that relationship, I think I need to repair because um he didn't trust that I wouldn't use it against him to some degree. And,
Mhm.
so that for me highlighted something else that we need to talk about off,
Yeah.
off camera, off script about where our relationship is. So it gave me some information, not the information I was asking for or wanted, but it
Yeah.
gave me some information,
Mm.
which is also helpful.
Yeah. Wow, opportunity for repair. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep, man. So I hold space, man. If you all do that, find a way to do that. I can't. Something just came up for me, and I don't want to get off without get off the. I don't want to get off. I don't want to stop the podcast.
See,
I don't.
you see,
I don't want to stop
there's
the
Spencer.
podcast without saying this, y'all. You don't have to be a certain religion, and you don't have to be Catholic. You don't have to. You don't have to be a certain religion. But I just loved Pope Francis. I just what he stood for
Yeah,
Yes.
and how he
Yes.
was. And I know that we all can learn and will continue to learn from just his being,
yeah, he's a good
his
one.
his
Yeah.
Yes.
humility, his good ones. So I encourage everybody to do that. I watched the night he passed away. I watched the documentary and well, a couple of them, as a matter of fact. And because my heart is aligned with that as well. This goes way beyond religion and
Mhm.
way outside of that box of religion. And so there is no love, compassion, empathy, and all those things we stand for cannot be confined by those things. And so I am just more inspired by his life right
Yes.
now,
You know,
right
Yes.
now in this moment.
Spencer, one of the things I loved about him, um, in almost every interview, even when he was talking about really serious issues
Yeah,
or topics, he smiled and he
yeah,
found some way to laugh, right?
yeah,
And
yeah, he
bring
did.
joy into that conversation.
Yes,
So that's one of the most admirable traits I think he had is
yeah,
not levity, but just remembering that we have to
yeah,
connect to each other
yeah.
through joy if
That's
we're
right.
going to grow together, right? So
Yeah,
what I'd like for us to do
yeah.
before we kind of sign off for today is think about joy and humor and
Mm,
happiness and what's been a really funny moment for you lately or
Mhm.
something funny that you've seen, something funny between us. I mean, I don't know, but I just think that it would be helpful for all of us to kind of wrap up our talk today on a high levity note, right?
yeah,
And remember joy
yeah,
and also share that joy with our audience.
yeah, yeah.
Did anything come up for you guys?
Yeah, one joke came up, but I'm gonna not say it because it was kind of morbid. It was about the
Well, now I
it's
want to
the it
hear
was
it.
about the Pope and his
Oh,
last not the Pope, but his last day and who he spent it with
Oh,
and and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go there because we're going to remember him in that way. But I just, I send out just jokes all the time. I just all the time I'm sending out jokes and laughing and stuff like that. And let me see something. I'm trying to think of something funny lately. Anything from you all, jump in. I'm trying to think of something fun. I'm sure it did.
listen, y'all, I just said it earlier. I love to cook for people, right? I
Yeah,
don't
mhm.
always love the people I'm cooking for
Uh-huh.
or enjoy their presence or
yeah,
enjoy their their views on the world and how they move in the
yeah.
world. So my sister-in-law, knowing this, sent me the screenshot of this t-shirt she saw that says, "Sure, I'll cook for you assholes." Like a woman cooking up this massive meal. She's like, sound familiar? I'm like, oh my God, it's brilliant.
I
Oh,
love it.
I have to find that shirt. I think it's just brilliant. It just captures it so well because part of my technique on these large family gatherings is like, I'm so busy in the kitchen. I don't have to, engage in the craziness.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
can
yeah,
all
yeah,
happen
yeah,
outside my kitchen. I get real strict about who can come in my kitchen because I'm so
Uh-huh.
busy.
Uh-huh.
And she just captured it perfectly with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I, I was thinking about this the other day. My mother was talking about her having to go get cataract surgery, and my grandfather had had it some years back, and my grandfather was the consummate trickster, jokester. Like he made a joke out of everything, even when he was shouldn't have been making a joke out of it. He's making a joke out of it. Um, but he said that he was telling us about how he went to go get cataract surgery, and he said, and I don't know what that doctor was doing. I looked up and my whole eyeball was out on the table, and so I was telling my mother that story of him telling me that. And I said, "Well, Granddad, how did you look up? First of all, in the middle of surgery, how did you look up and your eyeball was out on the table?" And so I just told her that, when she goes in for surgery, she's gonna be just like Granddad where her eyeball out on
That's so
the
funny. Oh man.
table.
Well, I don't have a joke, but one day last week it was just an interesting day. I went to Costco and I when I put the stuff in the car, rolled the basket out to the car and put the stuff in the car and put the basket back where it goes with the rest of the carts and the little cart holder or whatever wherever it goes. So I left and came home and realized I left my cell phone
Because his cell phone,
sitting in the basket.
you
That's where
really
it
want
was.
to be present.
So I had to go all the way. Yeah, I wasn't present exactly because I set it there to put the stuff in the car. That's a perfect example of not being. So I drove all the way back to Costco, and so I just drove down the aisle I was in, and so I just didn't park in the parking space. I put my hazard lights on, and I got out and I went to all the carts were, and I spent about yeah, it had to be about 15 minutes looking through all the carts, looking on the ground, see where my phone was. Couldn't find it, couldn't find it. So I pulled into a space and a guy who works there, I said, "Man, did you see a cell phone?" He's like, "Is it an Android?" I said, "Yeah, it is." He said, "Oh man, I took it in. I took it to my supervisor." He said, "Let me just walk you back in." So he walked me back in. We walked in to where the supervisor's desk was. The phone was there. I walked back out to the car, but I left the hazard lights on by mistake, so it drained the battery. So my car wouldn't start.
Oh,
My car
wow.
wouldn't start. And then, so listen, if you don't have this, get this. I'm saying this to everybody in the audience too. We have these portable jumper cables that Erica, man, thank God she ordered these months ago off the View. You know how they
Uh,
have
uh,
the
The
guy things you
products,
can
yeah,
buy
yeah,
off the
yeah.
View.
Right.
And so you hook, if it's charged up, you can hook them. So I tried it 5 times. I'm in the parking lot at Costco. Wouldn't start. So finally, the last time it started, driving home, y'all. So I'm driving home and I'm going down this street where this light is. You cross the main street, and there was a car in front of me with their hazard lights on. And there was a lady whose car just stopped. And I pulled, and all these cars were tooting the horn, y'all. They were like, get out the way, because it was almost rush hour by then. And I pulled up to her side and she had the window down. I said, you need some help? And she said, I don't know what happened. So I got out of my car and I said, well, we need to push your car out of the street. So I get behind her car by myself. I'm pushing the car. It's going a little bit, but then there's a little incline. And so I'm in the middle of traffic, man. It's traffic going all around. And I couldn't push it anymore in the car. And I stopped. Oh my God, it was a crazy day. It was a crazy day, y'all. So I'm standing in the middle of the street like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So another guy got out. Another guy got out. They helped me push the car over to the side. But I'm telling you, I don't know if you've ever had one of those days. It was just one of those days.
Mhm.
It was just one of those days. And I laughed at myself. So I learned to laugh at myself. So
I think that's a
um
great story, but man, what a
It
great
is.
story you picked to like highlight the goodness of humanity.
Yeah.
I know,
Yes,
I know,
Your
I
phone
know,
was
absolutely.
I know.
found and
Absolutely.
turned
Really,
in.
and
Another
I
guy
thought
got
about
out
that,
and
Nate.
helped
I
you
thought about because
push.
cars were tooting their horns at her, and I was like, "Oh no, I gotta stop and help her." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gotta, and I just picked up some food too. So in my mind, I'm like, "Oh man, the food is gonna get cold. It's gonna get cold. It's not gonna be." But I did it, and helped push her car over to the side. We tried to help her get it started. I think she called AAA eventually. Um, but I felt good about doing that.
I'm so glad the
Yeah.
story turned out that way because I totally
Yeah,
thought you
Yeah.
were going to say you
no,
finally pulled into a parking spot at Costco and heard as you
no,
drove over your phone.
no.
That's
Oh
where my
wow.
Oh
mind
my
That
gosh.
mine did too.
Oh my God. Oh,
Mine did
no,
too.
no.
Well,
Kind
I'm
of was
glad it
it.
did turn out like that.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, Healing Humanity was funny. Me standing in the middle of that intersection during rush hour traffic, like, what I'm going to do now? I can't push this car anymore. And luckily, this guy came out like an angel. He
Yeah.
came out like an angel, went to the other side. We pushed it over
See,
to the
it's like the
side. I was
shampoo
so,
Nice.
commercial.
yeah,
I
yeah.
told a friend and I
He
told
told
another
a friend,
friend.
and
Absolutely.
he came and helped. Yep, yep. And we were communicating, and he
Yes.
didn't speak any English.
Oh, perfect.
Well,
I
He
mean,
didn't
this
speak
story just
any
keeps getting
English.
better and better.
Yeah,
So,
it gets
yes.
better, man. Humanity is
did you
universal.
then share your food with
There's a
him or no?
universal language for humanity. You know what I mean? And I can speak a little bit, so we understood, but we couldn't get it started. She had to call AAA. So anyway,
That's awesome.
what a day.
That is.
What a day. But I didn't let it ruin my mood, though. I didn't let it ruin my mood. I
No, I
felt
mean,
good
how
about
could
doing
you?
it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
I
all
felt
those
good.
great things
I
happening.
felt good. I felt good.
That's
I
awesome.
appreciate y'all.
Well, I
Appreciate you
think this
too.
has been a great little chat and catch up session. I look forward to our future episodes. Want to remind everybody to go on to SpeakPipe. That's again speakpipe.com/endless evolution. Leave us a message. Tell us something you're thinking about. If you want us to talk about something in specific or in particular that you have in mind, let us know. We'd love to hear from you, whatever it is that you have to say.
Love you, everybody.
Okay.
All
Until next
right.
time, y'all. Aaron, any closing words?
It just feels good to be back with
Yeah,
you
yeah,
to selfishly to be back with you too,
yeah,
and then to just be able to connect with the folks who've been able to connect with us and
yeah.
have been changed in some way. So appreciate you all for
Thank
listening.
you all. I love you all. Peace and love to everybody.
Peace and
Until
love.
next time, y'all, keep healing, keep evolving, keep loving each other. All right, we'll
Right.
see you next time.
This episode of Endless Evolution is brought to you by the No Harm Organization, uplifting wholeness and humanity. Our featured music is Humanity by Lava Laru.